Hi everyone, coming at you today from buynewdinar.com, where we only sell the new issue 2014 Iraqi Dinar in all denominations. We also have the lowest prices on the internet for Iraqi Dinar. We also now offer purchase through credit card, and we'll soon have other options available as well. So what we're going to talk about today is the differences between the older currency and some of the changes that were made last year with the new issued currency. What you're looking at is the 25,000 dinar notes. The one on top is the older issue 2010 note, whereas the one on the bottom is the one that was released last year. And what you're looking at is actually the back of the note. The people in America tend to think that since it's in English, that's the front of the note, but it's really not. That's the back. And there's really not much difference between the two when you're looking at the back, except for this area here, which we'll get into shortly. So when we turn the notes over and look at the front of the notes, that's where we'll really see the differences. Now, the older notes and the date, just so you know, is up here. I won't go over what the Iraqi numerals represent, but you can look that up online yourselves. The serial numbers here. But the big differences, and I won't go over the features of the older notes because most of you that have the dinar are quite familiar with the older features. And we're just going to look at some of the newer features today. The first thing, starting on the left side of the bill, is you'll notice these three horizontal dash marks, and they are embossed markings for the vision impaired. When you rub your thumb across that, you can feel the three bars, and that tells you, for someone who's vision impaired, can tell what the denomination is. Tough to see on the video, but there are actually some colored threads throughout the notes as well, which is different. The old notes do not have any of the colored threads running through there, only the newer ones. You can barely make out the horsehead watermark here. It's the same as on the old notes, but you're familiar with that, so I won't bother holding it up to the light. This next item here, you'll notice the old patch and the new patch look similar, but there's actually quite a difference. The old one simply had color changing ink, whereas the newer patch is called a spark patch, and that's a trademark name. The spark patch is made with magnetic color changing ink. So if you had the right equipment, you could actually detect the magnetism in the ink itself, and you can see as I tilt it the difference in the colors there. Okay, and the next item coming over is the difference in the artwork. You still have Kurdish farmers here on both pictures, but the artwork has been completely redone and much more detailed. If you had a magnifying glass, you could really see some of the detail here, much nicer than the older one. The next feature, now on the older notes we had just a regular security thread going through, but on the new notes we have a wider thread, and that is actually called a motion feature scanner readable guarantee thread, and also a trademark name. And if you look at it on an angle, you can, I'm not sure if it's going to show up very well here with the glare, but it has the appearance of movement. The parts that are reflecting the light appear to move as you tilt the bill. The next feature over is this 13mm wide windowed protective film that runs vertically through the entire height of the note, and actually runs both sides as well. It runs completely around the bill. This creates a window in the note, which if we can see there, okay, so inside the window is on one side is what is called the spiral minaret in Samarra, And that tower is approximately 1,000 years old, 1,100 years old, somewhere in that range. And it's real hard to see, but there's also the indication of the denomination is embossed on the other side. Actually, it's on this side is the embossing, and technically this side has the spiral minaret, but it's hard to tell from the video, I'm sure. But included in the windowed protective film is also a hologram image of a palm tree, and there are some other spirals and things, and you can see it's real nice. It changes colors as you tilt it there. So overall, much more difficult to reproduce than the older notes for forgers. And I am not yet aware of anyone that's made any of the new notes, has forged any of the new notes. Now, I will say that the old notes are still valid. There's no reason to panic that the old notes are going to be, at some point, no longer valid. But our suggestion is that if you are going to purchase new notes, it makes sense to purchase the ones with the better security on them. I know that in country, they are slowly doing away with old notes. They're being turned in, and the newer notes are being issued. So eventually, in country, these will be the only notes, assuming the RV drags on to where we get to that point. But the point I'm making is that if you're going to make a purchase of dinar, you should really try to get some of the newer notes. And buynewdinar.com is the only site online that specifically and sells the new notes only. We do not sell the old notes at all. Some of the other retailers still deal in both. When you place an order, you don't know which ones you're going to get. And Buy New Dinar also, we have prices starting as low as $930 per million. Even with a credit card, 1 million dinar purchase is around $970 or so with a credit card. Cash price would be cheaper than that. So that's it for these notes. We're going to go on and look at the 10,000 dinar notes. Okay, moving on to the 10,000 dinar notes. We won't spend a lot of time discussing the older security features on the 2010 notes. You did have the color changing ink patch here, which has been replaced with a magnetic ink color changing patch. It's still color changing. It has more of a sheen to it, and but the ink that is used actually has a magnetic quality to them, so that they can be detected by certain machines. Over here you have the two markings for the vision impaired. On the 25,000 notes there were 3 lines, and now we have 2 for the 10,000 notes. Running through the middle, again we have the motion feature scanner readable guarantee thread. That's a mouthful, I know. But again, as you move the bill under the light, you can hopefully see what I'm talking about, that it has a motion feature to it. The area that reflects the light appears to move. I'm sorry for the glare. Moving over to the right, we have the same windowed protective film that we had on the 25,000 notes, and inside the film you'll see the spiral minaret again in Samara, and also the indication of the denomination. It's really hard to see on the video, I know, but when you get one in your hand, you'll see the numbers, the Arabic numbers there, showing the 10,000 note. And again, we have the hologram built into the windowed protective film. Nice colors there, the palm tree, various other designs. And a lot of people probably are wondering what this is here. This is actually called the Freedom Monument. It's located in Baghdad, and no, it doesn't have anything to do with the Iraqi war. It was actually built in 1960. So I'm not sure why they chose it for this note, but that's what that is. Other than that, that's about it for the 10,000 dinar notes. We'll take a quick look at the 5,000s next. Okay, moving on to the 5,000 Iraqi dinar notes. You'll notice, again, the older note at the top, the 2014 issued notes at the bottom, again dated 2013, but not issued until late 2014. There are not that many differences on these, on the 5,000 notes, as there were on the other notes. The artwork has stayed the same. You'll notice there is no windowed protective film running vertically where it would be on the 10,000 and 25,000 notes. You do have the horizontal marking for the vision impaired with embossed ink. You can feel that with your fingers. You run that across that. You also have the spark patch, the magnetic color changing ink, as on the 10,000 and 25,000 notes. You still have the horse head watermark, which apologies, you can't see very well in the video, but it is the same as the old notes. And you also have the motion feature scanner readable guarantee thread on the 5,000 notes that you have on the 10 and 25,000 notes. And again, I'll see if we can move that to where you can see how that moves. And also the spark patch, you'll notice how reflective that is on these notes. Turning it over to the back of the note, you won't see any difference at all. Those are exactly the same. All the differences on the front of the note, because the lack of the windowed protective film. The windowed protective film is the only difference visible on the back of the notes on the other denominations as well. But there you have it. And again, buynewdinar.com. We only sell the newly issued, more secure 2014 Iraqi dinar. We do not sell the older notes. They are not available. We believe that anyone purchasing dinar at this point should be purchasing the newer notes because they're more secure, and because you don't know, we know that in country they are slowly replacing the older notes. So I don't believe that the older notes are ever going to become invalid at any point. But for anyone purchasing new dinar at this time, I would recommend the newer notes. So that's it, and we thank you for watching, and have a great day. Before I go, I just wanted to quickly mention about the 50 dinar notes. Most of you are probably aware that the 50 dinar notes as of April 30th, 2015 are no longer valid and no longer in circulation. If you had any, they would have needed to have been exchanged for higher denominations, and if you still have some, unfortunately they are just now a worthless memento of the older days. The reason that they have eliminated the 50 dinar notes is that the newer issued lower denominations will have a 50 dinar note issued in once they are released. I am told that they will start out with a half dinar up to a 50 and possibly a 100 dinar note. The current notes now only start at 250 dinar, and then the 500, the 1,000, the 5,000, 10,000, and 25,000 notes. So again, the 50 dinar notes are no longer valid. They will be replaced once the new currency is released with a new 50 dinar note, which we assume will be worth much more than these old 50 notes. Again, thank you for watching. Have a great day.